Hi guys, thank you for joining us this evening. So this stream will be all about discussing motor vehicle and engineering, and we've got a fantastic team with us this evening who are going to introduce themselves. So let me invite them in. Hi Alex, can you just give us your role in engineering, please?
Hi, yes, my name's Alex Glover. I'm in charge of level 3 manufacturing engineering at Leicester College.
Fantastic. And do you have a background in engineering?
Yeah, I came up as an apprentice. I worked at a company that made parts for cars, like brake pedals, handbrakes, that sort of thing. And then I worked for a rail infrastructure company that make trains that measure things about tracks.
That's fantastic. So you do have a wide breadth of knowledge in the area, which is always good when you're going to teach. And I'm going to introduce our colleagues from motor vehicles. So I have both Graham and I have Tony.
Hello, Victoria.
Hello, Graham. Would you like to introduce yourself and what your role is and if you have a background in motor vehicle?
Yes, I'm Graham Beatty. I look after level 2 and level 3 diplomas in motor vehicle. My background is in both light vehicles, so just fixing any car that comes in the garage, and motorsport. So I spent about 3 or 4 years tuning race and rally cars, doing the engine tuning. And now I participate in motorsport, both as a competitor and helping out as a marshal.
Wonderful. And Tony?
Hi, my name is Tony Jakes. I'm in charge of the level 2 body repair and refinishing. So it's the painting side of things and the body repair. Also entry level 3 motor vehicle. My background is working for main dealers as a rule, Ford, Land Rover, Mercedes, Volkswagen, up until 2005 when I joined Leicester College.
Do you have a favourite car brand?
Ones that don't need painting. Favourite car brand? Probably Jaguar. I've got a Jaguar.
Oh, you're my favourite kind of man then. Okay, so guys, we do have our apprenticeship team here today, but they're just going to sit in the background until we've given the presentations, and then they'll be popping up to answering your questions and talking about apprenticeships in these areas too. So I'm going to pass over to Alex, and he's going to deliver the presentation for engineering. Hi Alex, let's get started.
Hi, do I click or do you click?
I will click for you, my love.
Excellent. So hopefully we're going to see what engineering is all about and why you'd want to be an engineer. Okay. So often we see the word engineer and we think about different things. We think about people that fix cars, people that fix washing machines, all these different jobs that we often use the word engineer for. But really, engineering comes down to problem solving, and it involves using maths and science. And we're kind of at the dirty end of maths and science, where we actually put it to work and use it as a tool to often make things. And there's different types of engineering. So we've got electrical engineering, electronic engineering. So if you've got a phone, it will have had some electronic engineering, loads of stuff to try and fit that in there. People work on that, and we do quite a bit of that at Leicester College. We make printed circuit boards and stuff like that in there. Communications, obviously all things like the internet that we're using right now, all the infrastructure that's running on is all run on that. Mechanical engineering, how we make physical mechanical things. And what's even more difficult than making physical mechanical things is making them in volume, and that's manufacturing engineering, where we make things really, loads of them, but make them really efficiently and at a really good price. And what allows us to have all these products and the lifestyles we've become accustomed to. And then aeronautical and aerospace engineering as well. So that's a very niche area. We have quite a lot of that in the East Midlands. So there's quite a lot of, there's not a lot of aircraft hangars in the East Midlands, but there's quite a lot of small companies making little bits for aeroplanes. We've got a big engineering heritage in the East Midlands making bits for aerospace. And obviously inside these, we've got design development, measuring and test and stuff like that. But often with engineering, you will find that you go into a career making a product you didn't even know exists. For example, not just outside of Leicester, there's a company that make the little bit, the way you open your biscuits, that little red strip, that's a product that somebody has to make. So if you go into engineering, it'll probably end up being for doing something you've never even know existed. So next slide. And that's one of the reasons we keep it quite general at Leicester College, so you can go into these different fields. So all of these things now, you often hear about England not making much anymore production, although we are starting to ramp up production and stuff. But we have still got a really big heritage worldwide of designing and being at the smart end of manufacturing, being able to design and develop these products. So there's like Formula One teams, for example, with the exception of Ferrari, I think there might be one other team, but most of those teams that make Formula One cars are all based in the UK because the infrastructure for developing the thinking powers in this country. So next one. Spot the engineer. I don't know if any of you can spot them, but I think if we go to the next slide, they're all engineers because they're all working in the engineering sector. And then the next one, so for 2021 entry, that's for next year, we offer levels at Leicester College all the way from level 1. So if you've not quite done so well with your GCSEs and you need to get that foundation in your maths, the level 1 and level 2, they get you really ready for that. If you want to go further and you've got good GCSEs, then the level 3 in engineering, manufacturing, or electrical, electronic. And obviously at Leicester College, we have people from industry as well doing their apprenticeships at Leicester College, and you've got that ability to go all the way up to the second year of a degree, which is like a HND. And hopefully, if you can get an apprenticeship that will support you for that, you could get 2 years of your degree paid for. And often we get apprentices that come and they go all the way from level 2 or 3. And if the company like them and support them, they support them all the way through their degree, and they get their degree paid for completely free, no loans. I think that's everything on mine. Yes. Was that under 10 minutes?
That's really interesting, Alex. I really appreciate you delivering
That's okay.
that. So do you have a favourite engineering sector at all, or?
I quite like the manufacturing kind of sector. I've worked in that a lot, and the kind of efficiency methods and stuff. I quite like their thought process and how they overcome problems. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I can vouch for you as well. I actually have family who've worked in the engineering sector and especially aerospace. There are a lot of smaller firms around the East Midlands. So don't think you're in the wrong location to be going into these sorts of careers. There is a lot around us. So definitely, I completely agree with that. A lot of people associate engineering with Germany or France or even America, but you can't get better than the British doing it. I'm sure you're agree.
It's good. Yeah, very good. This country. Yeah. I've got a lot of my history with it. Yeah. Okay.
No worries. I'm just going to keep you in the background to answer any questions at the end of the live stream. Thank you. And obviously, we want to move on straight away to Graham, who's delivering our motor vehicle sector. So, Graham, are you okay to go ahead?
Thank you very much, Victoria. I'm back here now, ready to go.
You're welcome.
So you'll see on the screen quite a complex little slide there. Which shows all our routes through motor vehicle, because motor vehicle has more than one pathway through it. And at Leicester College, we can offer pathways to a variety of learners who can come in at any point within that pathway, hopefully with the end result of being either a technician or maybe again on the body repair side for Tony, and you see them pathways through. So whatever qualifications people come in with, we have a pathway that would suit you. Next slide, please. So we have an entry level 3. Maybe Tony could mention this. Is Tony around? If not, this is for people who come with. Oh, there he is, Tony. Come on, this is one of your courses. You can speak.
Yeah, so the entry level 3 course is for people who haven't got particularly good grades with regards to maths and English. So if we're looking at possibly ones, the actual there's no actual GCSE requirement to come onto the course. But if you've got a passion for motor vehicle, you know, sometimes in many cases that'll be enough to carry you through. So it is a little bit of a taster course. There's a variety of activities that are preparing you for level 1 and further qualifications up to level 2 and maybe level 3 as well. So entry level 3 is for no formal qualifications, but it is an introduction to motor vehicle components, chassis, exhaust, engines. So it's a wide variety of activities that prepare you really for higher levels, like Graham's course. So the 5120, that is the course, like it says on the sheet. So Craig Visram is the program lead for that. You can get directly onto a level 1 course. You don't have to go through a progression route from entry level 3, but you would have to have a minimum of grade 2 in maths and English in order to go onto that course. It's a little bit more involved, a little bit more well, it's a little bit more higher for higher achievers, really. So same sort of thing as the entry level 3. It's a portfolio based activity, core qualification that that prepares you for high levels yet again. So we're realistically looking at progression from, if you have no GCSEs in maths and English or ones in maths and English, you'll go on to an entry level 3. If you have level 2s in maths and English, you can go directly onto the level 1 course. I think possibly, unless you are a high flyer with high academic results, probably level 1 would be the best place to start, so you get a foundation understanding. Could you go to a level 2 directly, Graham?
Yes, you can. There you go, and there comes a level 2 slide. This is our level 2 IMI diploma. This is aimed very much at students who have slightly better GCSE grades. We're looking for GCSE 4 or higher for maths and English, and really a good grounding in science as well. It is very much the direct entry for progression into the motor industry. It's used as IMI awards and a recognized industry recognized awarding body, and it is very much the qualification to have to get into the motor industry. It's worth saying at this point that entry to the motor industry, yes, it is a skills-based industry. You need to be good with your hands and you need to be good physically working on cars, but you need knowledge as well. So there's quite a theoretical input because the cars of today, both the light vehicle and the motorsport, are very complex. Yeah, can we move on to the next slide? So the progression route from the level 2 light vehicle diploma is the level 3 diploma. And this is the industry recognized qualification. This is what you really need to have to become a technician in the motor industry. Quite in-depth, very much based on the diagnosis of faults on modern cars. So you will be getting in-depth with computer-based diagnostics, as well as being able to use the tools to carry out them repairs as well. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Now, if you have an interest in motorsport, there's also a progression route into motorsport. So the level 2 diploma in motorsport, although most motorsport cars work in a similar way to road cars, so it can base you for a career in light vehicle and working in normal cars. But if you have an interest in motorsport, this is the route for you. This is my area of interest. And again, the entry requirements are reasonably high. There is project work involved, and you can see our road project car there out at a circuit being tested a couple of years ago, and we hopefully get the car out every year to be tested. And we go to a race circuit and test the car. We visit race circuits when it is COVID safe. Unfortunately, it's not at the moment. They're mostly closed. They're running events behind closed doors. But we do get out to events as well as going to a Motorsports Industry Association careers event when they run. Next slide should hopefully show the progression route. Yeah, so the level 3 diploma in motorsport is the culmination of that motorsport course. I had the joy of speaking to one of my ex-students last week who's now working for one of the teams, and he was racing at Le Mans this year. He was in Singapore, America. But the day after I spoke to him last week, he was off up to Scotland, a windy race circuit in Scotland, to be doing a testing regime with their cars. So it is the sort of industry where you are hands-on in the motorsport industry. You've got to be dedicated and prepared to travel and motivated. But if you are that way inclined, it's a very, very rewarding career. On to the next slide. We do have an alternative level 2, which we run with ABC Awards. This is probably for the people who maybe haven't at that point achieved their English and maths grades to get on the IMI diplomas. And it offers an alternative pathway because we don't want to leave people high and dry. And it's very good for people who maybe aren't quite there on English maths as a pathway to apprenticeships. So that's what we offer, the level 2 ABC diploma. Next slide. And back to you, Tony.
Okay, so I'm the program lead for the level 2 body repair. This slide represents a little bit about the course. So as with most courses, with all courses, it's an academic year, which is 36 weeks long. There will be a blend of theory and workshop sessions. Unfortunately, with the COVID situation, human contact has to come to a minimum. So we are doing Microsoft Teams theoretical sessions, and after half term we will be actively doing practical workshop sessions. One of the good things about the body repair side of things is that we're not going to notice a great deal of difference in the work in our environment, because due to the nature of the job, you'll be wearing protective gloves and respiratory protection anyway. So the only thing that's, say, you would experience different on a day-to-day basis out of the college is that most people wear masks now. However, that's part and parcel of the PPE that you would wear in a workshop anyway. With the level 2 body diploma, the activities there are essentially, if your car has been damaged, you would take it to an insurance approved body shop where it would have an estimate done. If the estimate's converted and it actually comes into the workshop, then the car would be either repaired. If, like you see that what the technician's doing there, he's doing some repair to the panel, or if the panel's too badly damaged, then it'll be replaced. So it's either non-structural panels or structural panels, so either bolt-on wings or bolt-on doors, or panels that don't bolt on where you have to weld them on. They're the activities that you'll be doing in level 2 body. What generally happens then is when all the body work's been done, it's handed over to the refinisher. This was my vocational job when I was in industry. I was a professional sprayer. So we would receive the cars in a repaired state. We would carry the baton on, in effect, from the panel beater. And we would then do the priming, colour matching, application of the paintwork and the clear coat to get it back to what is considered to be pre-accident condition. So doesn't have to just look pretty, but it has to be structurally sound as well, meeting manufacturer's requirements. So it's a very hands-on kind of activity, the job itself. But as with any job, especially Graham's side of things, there are maths and English required for the tasks. On a day-to-day basis, for instance, if you're mixing up paints, there's mathematics involved where you have to work out mixing ratios, and also you have to be able to read an estimate and see what instructions there are, in order to meet the customer's requirements. So, pretty much that's it, really. So, say there's that snapshot again. So if you look at the bottom rung there, 4861, entry level 3, there's no bodywork or paintwork involved in 4861. That is a pathway primarily for motor vehicle. Once you've done that, the progression route would be to level 1 and then level 2, whichever way you want to go with that. There is no level 1 in body or paint, so it is a direct entry to level 1. To level 2. But you would have to have a level 3 in maths and English for GCSEs to go into either one of those courses.
Well, thank you, Graham and Tony. That was really informative. It's really interesting to see the crossovers between motor vehicle and the engineering courses, especially with motorsport, obviously working in both those industries. So I really do appreciate you joining us. I'm just going to quickly remove you because one of the questions we do have is, do we offer apprenticeships in these areas? And obviously we do. So I'm going to bring our apprenticeship team. So I'll rejoin you in a second. So I'd like to introduce Liz and Pete, who are part of our apprenticeship team. Hi guys, you okay?
Hello. Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. Do you want to give us an overview about apprenticeships in these areas?
Well,
Pete, you're on. You mute. Your mic's on mute.
Start
there we
again.
Go. You're welcome.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
This evening.
No. Yes, good evening, everybody. My name's Pete Rogers. I'm engineering apprenticeship lead trainer and assessor for the engineering area. My background is a multi-skilled engineer for electrical and mechanical engineering in a manufacturing-based industry. Anything you see in a supermarket, any product, it's basically got to be manufactured, and it's usually manufactured through engineering equipment. There's 5 key apprenticeship areas that we offer at Leicester College, and I'm just going to run through them very quickly for you. One is metal fabricator, and that's for the fabrication and weld industry, and that's mainly things like working with steel and plate and welding techniques. The second area is the manufacturing production, which is engineering technicians. These are all level 3, by the way. We offer level 3 apprenticeships only at this point in time. That is where you make basically anything with a lathe, with a milling machine or a CNC machine for the motor industry or other industries that need mechanical components. Thirdly, there's the maintenance and operation area, which is for maintenance technicians, somebody similar to myself who would work in industry and manufacturing, repairing and repairing equipment. Then there's the engineering fitter. There's a new one this year, new standard this year, and it consists of 2 areas. One is for the electrical panel builders. This is electrical panels that again will fit onto machines that manufacture equipment. And the other area is mechanical fitter, which is just basically assembly of mechanical parts. The last area is you've heard a lot about tonight, and that's motor vehicle. Okay, we do a motor vehicle apprenticeship level 3, and that is on vehicle maintenance and repair. And that's basically, you know all about that, guys. It's where you take your cars to get serviced and repaired if they're required. So that's basically it. I've just got to give you a couple of minutes on the apprenticeship program itself, so that you understand. Apprenticeship program mainly is the new standards that's come out in the last 2 years is based around a main diploma qualification that is usually carried out mainly in the college, which is the knowledge base, and the competency base is where you would be out in industry working with your employer, developing your competency skills. You also need to have maths and English at level 2 by the end of your apprenticeship. And at the end now, you have to do what's called an endpoint assessment. And this basically is carried out by an independent awarding body who come in, and they will check your knowledge base, they will check your competency base, and they will give you a professional discussion. Basically a hard time at the end of it, unfortunately, but you should have the knowledge and the skills that you've developed throughout the possibly 3.5 years to get through that. So that's a little bit very quick, sharp information on apprenticeships, and that's.
Thank you. Liz, do you have anything to add to that?
Hi, no, I'm the recruitment officer for engineering. So if somebody was looking for an apprenticeship, they can contact me and I can help them. And also I work with the companies so that we make sure we get the right person in the right place. There's certain.
A couple of employers that you work with.
Sorry.
Do you want to speak about a couple of the employers you work with in terms of apprenticeships?
They do vary quite a lot. I mean, we do have some very big companies. Some of the bigger companies around Leicester, like the gentleman was saying earlier, you know, Leicester is a very big engineering area traditionally, and I think being in the middle of the country, you know, that's a traditional career that people have followed. But also we have smaller companies, so it might just be, you know, one or two people. So it does vary right across the board, really, the type of work.
That's wonderful. Am I right to just bring the team in and we'll answer a few of the questions that we've got remaining in the time?
Yeah.
So welcome back, Graham, Tony, and Alex. Thank you very much. I'm just going to open up some questions that we have had and some of the pre-arranged questions we have. So one I've got from this gentleman. Apologies, I can't pronounce your name, and I'm not going to do it, so I'll offend you. What is the fee for level 1 diploma certificate for automotive maintenance and service? And I think he's talking in terms if he's an EU student.
Well, if it's somebody who's leaving school at 16, then the materials fee for the course, which is what we charge, is £150. So that's currently what we are charging. That will be a school leaver join that course, which is most of the entrants to that course are. They would also need, the only additional thing on top of that is boots and overalls. And you can usually, we've got a local company doing a deal for around about £30 for a set of boots and overalls at the moment.
Absolutely fine. You can't beat that. And overalls are very fashionable right now as well. So, you know, 2 in 1. One thing we've got about engineering is engineering mostly practical. I think this is a bit, I think there's a bit of taboo that you have to like be doing academic A level to do engineering. What's your response to that, Alex?
With the level 3, I think a lot of people, I can save them time coming for the interview really, because a lot of people think it's going to be working with their hands. There's not a huge amount of practical content at level 3. Remember that it's worth 3 A levels and it gets you ready for university. So you've got to be able to go to university and compete with someone with A level maths, physics and chemistry. So you've got to be on the same level. We do include some practical. For example, we do CAD, we do some workshop practice. There's other things like building PCBs and stuff like that, but it's not primarily a practical course.
Okay, that's great. Does that go for all apprenticeships, all
No.
Engineering, or?
Not in apprenticeships, Victoria.
Wonderful.
Okay. Apprenticeships are more application driven. Okay, the level 3, they're craft with some analytical background for the knowledge. So they're a mixture. It's only when you start hitting the level 4, which is HNC level, that you start to get more into the heavy knowledge side. But certainly apprenticeships are mainly aimed at somebody who has the knowledge and then can apply that knowledge in a competent way within their work environment.
Okay, thank you, Peter. I really appreciate that, because I know there is a difference between doing the course and doing the apprenticeship, and that obviously establishes what you do and when. So following up from that, we have a question for our motor vehicle staff. Do I have to have a previous knowledge of motorsport?
No, you don't. But more important, you have to have an interest and a passion. If you've got an interest and a passion, then we can work on the knowledge. So really, somebody who has interest in one of the areas of motorsport, and there's many, many areas of motorsport, from Formula 1 through, maybe as you've seen, the British Touring Car Championship, where it's a car that looks fairly similar to a road-going car, whether it's my background, which is rallying, there's drag racing, and I even had one student who competed in lawnmower racing, and apparently it's very active. There's a lot of lawnmower racing goes on up and down the country.
Wow, that's very unique. So thank you, Graham, for that. Do you know how well he's doing with the lawnmower racing?
It's apparently they do all sorts of things. There was one of the events was a 24-hour event where they just raced these lawnmowers. I must admit, I did find out they do remove the blades from the lawnmower before the race. They don't do it with blades on.
There'll be a lot of blunt grass otherwise, wouldn't there? Sounds very interesting though and unique. And I have one for Liz. how much do apprentices earn? I know it can vary for age to age, so could you just clarify that?
Yeah, there's a minimum set by the government, which at the moment is £4.15 an hour, but that is only the minimum. A company can pay anything over that. There's no maximum amount. Engineering, we do tend to sort of encourage the companies to pay a bit more, which most of them do. But some companies will pay the national minimum salary, or some pay the going rate for their staff. It does depend on the company.
Thank you, Liz. I really do appreciate that. So we are at the end point of our session today. I want to thank you guys for joining us. If you have any interest in it's been a long evening, guys, sorry. If you have any interest in any of our engineering or motor vehicle courses, you can visit our website. They are fully listed on there, including the entry requirements, progression routes, and further details about the modules that you'll be studying. Or if it's an apprenticeship you're interested in, then I do recommend you either visit Leicester College website, and we have our own section, or going on the government website to look at vacancies that we currently have available. Now, if you are looking to join us in September 2021, please do not apply for any apprenticeships now. It's too soon. Our apprenticeship team will probably be doing a live near to the time when these come available, so you'll know exactly when you need to apply. But that's it for today, guys. If you are interested in motor vehicle, that if you go back on our Insta stories, we did a virtual tour with those guys, and it is on there for you to view. The fantastic facilities we have at Leicester College really enable you to progress and develop all the skills you need to work in engineering and motor vehicles. So I do appreciate you guys joining us today. Do you have anything else left to add before we leave?
No, I think
silence. They're starving for their dinner, guys, so I'm going to let them go. So thank you guys for joining us. Any questions you have, please pop them below, and we will answer them in due course as well. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.